I don't even have kids. Hi guys, and welcome to Recently Seen Horror, where I'm going to talk about the Babadook. Basically, this is a brand new horror movie just released this year from Australian director Jennifer Kent, and I'm going to say this right away, it's one of the best goddamn things I've seen in a while. So the setup is one of the oldest in the book. We have a single mother dealing with a deep personal tragedy whose son is extremely afraid of a monster called the Babadook from a strange pop-up book that appeared in his room. As the child gets more anxious and the mother gets more stressed, it starts to appear that the monster is actually real. And of course, things start really going south. Is that a new concept? No, it isn't. But it's not always about having a new concept as much as it is about having a real good way of treating it. And by God, does this movie have a great way of treating the concept. It's actually kind of hard to even talk about this movie without spoiling all the good parts about it, but I'll try to do my best. In a lot of these stories, they either go two routes. They either go the extremely metaphysical route where it's all metaphors and nothing is seen, or they go the direct route, the very unsubtle route. However, this movie sort of does both, and it's really up to you to decide which one you want to focus the most on, because both are equally important. And even if there is a deeper layer to what's going on, it's not in your face about that layer. It explains it without having to say it directly so much anyway. And it's just there. It's just there. It's not constantly trying to excuse the monster story by having a little extra layer that pops up. Not at all. It's very tangible and it's also very metaphorical. It's really hard to explain. Visually, this movie is also fucking amazing, by the way. Everything about it just clicks. There was a Q&A with the director after the screening, and from what I've been told, this movie had a budget of $30,000. Which is insane, by the way, because I could not tell. If you'd asked me, I would have guessed it at least had a couple million behind it, but no. It looks fucking amazing. And from what we were told, most of that money went straight to the art department. Now that I can believe, because this movie, even when it's really frightening, and it is most of the time, I've been bowstring tense through the whole goddamn thing. Even when that movie is really frightening and they show you something really disturbing, it's fucking gorgeous. It's very clearly inspired by a lot of early silent movie era German expressionism, and it really pops out. It looks fucking great, it really does. Now, with a movie like this, you really need a strong cast. You need a strong mother, you need a strong child, and holy fucking crap, these people are good. Like, really good. I could not believe some of the places they went. The lead actress has this incredible range. She can go from one extreme to the other in what appears like a heartbeat. And this kid is probably one of the best child actors I've seen in ages. He's just as vulnerable as any child, but he's so incredibly... Jennifer Kent used the word robust to describe the actor, and that's definitely the feeling I get from the character too. Very robust child, even when he's freaking out in a panic. This kid is facing something so horrible, and he's super terrified, there's never any doubt of that. But he's so incredibly strong about it. Nothing deters him, and that's really admirable. So these two are amazing, and the supporting cast, even if they don't have a huge role, really do a great job too, and just really build up this amazing atmosphere. It's so hard to describe, but everything about the performances just click. Bad? Well, that's the thing. I don't think I have anything outright bad to say about it. Everything about the Babadook clicked with me somehow. Except maybe if I had to truly nitpick, there were a couple of effects that I felt were maybe a bit too much. But every time those showed up, it was only for like a couple seconds, and it really didn't deter from the overall experience. Really, it all just clicks. Depending on who you are, you might actually find... I know I praised the kid just a moment ago, but depending on who you are, you might find him unbearably annoying. But here's a little fun fact for you. He's a frightened 7-year-old. He wants attention. He wants to be confirmed somehow, and he's scared out of his mind. Try finding a child who's not annoying sometimes. But that's actually a really huge part about this story, that the kid is annoying. I won't go into details about how that's important, but it is, and it works, and you never really lose sympathy with the kid. I didn't, at least. Some people might, but I don't really have a problem with children in general, so there you go. But really, everything about it, to me, felt great, with only a slight few nitpicks. But really, the pace is just pitch perfect. Everything happens just when it should happen. I loved it, I really did. Now, the debatable part of the movie would be the third act, but it depends entirely on who you are and what you're looking for in your horror. Because like I said earlier, this one kind of works on two levels at once, instead of just, you have to focus on one or you have to focus on the other. But some people might prefer to focus on one or the other, and that might make some elements a little frustrating to them. I can imagine that anyway. For me, I enjoyed both layers a lot. The most interesting thing about this, I thought, was its conflict solution. It's teased a couple of times with a bit of a fake out, but the way this conflict is solved is really refreshing for a horror movie, and it's not seen often, and it was very welcome to me. And yet there's still the slightest tinge of a classic "this might not be over" thing. But really, it's so hard to describe this without going into details about what the Babadook represents. But yeah, I'm sorry I fell quiet there for a second. But yeah, the third act might raise some eyebrows, might get some people to step off this movie and think it didn't go the direction they wanted. But I find it goes both directions, so everyone should be happy. So what's my verdict? I think you know. This movie is amazing. I mean, really, it has a great fucking cast. It takes the right story steps at every turn, and there's never any real dead air. And what little dead air there is really, really atmosphere building. The monster itself looks amazing and is truly horrifying. And the way the story unfolds and concludes is really refreshing and something I haven't seen in a while in horror. So all those elements go together, and it just felt good to watch. I was seriously freaked out for most of the whole goddamn thing. Jennifer Kent clearly had a vision here, and it's a vision she has followed with gusto, dealing both with a supremely scary monster movie and with a subject that a lot of people are dealing with, but most people refuse to acknowledge or admit or even say out loud. And it's an incredibly bold thing to do. The Babadook is highly recommended. It's probably the scariest thing I've seen in a couple of years. And just an overall strong film. Please do yourself a favor and catch this one as soon as fucking possible. Well, that's it for now. I'm gonna not go to sleep tonight. At all.